I'm here. Here, let me get the link up. I'm gonna post a link to this stream. Here we go. Share link to copy. Sorry, give me a second. And okay, we are live. Mega Man. Let's do this. Alright, so new stream. If anyone saw my last one, then you're gonna know that right now we are currently rating levels in Mega Good Mega Man level. So let me get our duck right now. I'm right now the goose from Unlimited Goose Game, or Untitled Goose Game. Alright. Let's see. You know what? For the sake of this, let's just go with classic Nitro Man. I love my boy Nitro Man. Alright. So last time, where we ended off, I had only gone through Glitz Woman because I was still trying to figure this out, but hopefully we can get through more than one stage in an hour or so. I believe the next stage up is Boost Man, which is an interesting one because I haven't played it in a while. I got a suggestion on my last stream to kind of save any comments I have for after I play the level, which I agree. I was very disjointed last time, so that hopefully this will make it a little better. Anyway, Boost Man by Isabella Isabee and Silver Laguna. So we got a 79, a 62, an 80, a 63, and a 76. Pretty mixed, but we'll see. Let's start from the beginning. I like whenever levels do that little drop thing. I think it's fun. Very solid introduction to enemies. I don't think this is like... It kind of gets across what you need to know, which I like whenever enemies are introduced before the so-called gimmick. Here we go. So, Boost Man's main gimmick are these little boost pads that give you extra speed. So then you can make bigger jumps than you usually can. Oh god, hold up, I just noticed something. Yeah, sliding slows you down, I think, when you're on here. Yeah, that's the regular slide speed. Okay. That's a little janky, honestly. I kind of wish that was kept in mind, but aside from that, these are pretty nice. I think they get across what they do pretty easily, and this is a good introduction. It's safe. It's not terribly difficult, but... Okay, that one just disappeared. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I don't know why that happened. But I like the animation of you stepping on them. I think that helps get across the point of what they are. Anyway, these mosquitoes are the bane of my existence. I've been trying to perfect run Pick Your Poison, and it has so many of those that are just impossible to deal with. These boost pads are pretty fun. Yeah. Alright, I like that you're able to just see that token up front. That's nice. And then I believe there's another challenge here. No? Oh, okay, I guess you just have to use either a Magnet Beam over there or use Rush Jet over here. I've said this before, I don't like whenever you don't utilize your gimmicks in tokens, because tokens should serve as... Tokens should be memorable parts of your level, and I don't think this is very memorable, considering that it doesn't actually use the memorable parts of this level, which are these low boost pads here. Also, you could use this as a teaching moment to maybe show that you can use it to get over something that you totally couldn't, because I think all of these jumps are pretty easily made, but having something a little tougher would train people to sorry. It would train them a little better before going on to the next part. Ah! I'm doing it again, I'm talking. Okay, yeah. Oh. Now come. Oops. We can go through this again, I guess. I keep sliding thinking it's gonna boost me faster, but it doesn't. I think that just comes down to personal preference, whether you like that or not. But I like whenever things have a little bit of added tech to them. Like, it'd be cool if you needed to get the slide momentum plus the boost to get that token there. That's kind of what I was trying to say before. You know what? Actually, what I should be doing here is not this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just noticed, it does seem like we are missing our trusty Magnet Beam. Fair enough, I think this could be pretty easily passed with just a Magnet Beam. Anyway, the real way you're supposed to get this. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Is that thing? I know what this is. It's a credit room, but I just wanted to show it off because it's part of the level. But it actually has nothing to do with the design experience of this. Okay, the volcano theme is cool, by the way. I don't know if it meshes exactly perfectly with this. It'd be cool if this was like, I don't know, lava or something, or like geysers that push you or something. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know how to integrate the theme into the level here. I think the atmosphere is kind of lacking for this. The enemy choices are quite good though. Like, these fire throwers work well. And I think these little guys are inoffensive. Alright, I swore you could just slide from here, but let's see. There we go. Alright. So this is the secret room. Isabella's a bee. Well, hello there. I didn't expect too many people to make their way in here, but I'm happy to see you could at least. Thanks for taking the time to play my level. I hope it will be enjoyable. And while I'm thanking people, I also want to give a big thanks to my friend Laguna, who did pretty much all of the coding for the custom assets in this stage, as well as Bulby for composing the music that kind of inspired the idea for this level in the first place. Said track being the one you're listening to right now. By the way, one of my favorite songs in the entire game. It's kind of low definition, but I think it's kind of a banger, and it kind of just fits this level, the volcano theme, very well. Yeah. So for looking, I'm so much cooler than that dork on the left. Anyway. That's cool. I forgot they did that. Yes, thank you. Please actually integrate the environment around you into the designs. I hate whenever the theming and the level don't align at all, and I think that's just vanilla behavior, but it's still cool because you kind of forget about it. good kind of speed challenge. Fits the level. Alright, I'm torn on this. I don't like this because I'm looking at this right now. I have the mini-map. I still don't know which way the token is. And you will miss something either way no matter where you go. If I remember, it's down. Let me... Or maybe it's neither way. I'm gonna go down for the sake of this. But I might have to redo this just to double check the other way. Where's level compass? Boom. The reason I don't use it is because you can kind of hard to tell like it's hard to tell how well hidden a token is if you have it on. Okay, so I think this is like lasers. Yeah. Okay, thank you for marking them. I think that's a nice little choice. Good token grab there. Also, thank you for making them damage ones because that would have been super annoying. I don't know if I could have easily dodged that, but it's alright. Kind of wish the lasers were in more of the level. I hate whenever people introduce stuff, cool sections like that, and then leave them. Like, it makes total sense for the boost pads to go with the lasers because they're both based around speed. Kind of like a what Quickman should have been situation. Nice little mini challenge for the power-ups. I think the power-up distribution in this level is fine. Warning signs, cute. I've always sucked at this mini-boss. Oh my god. Oh no. Alright, well. Apparently I forgot to bring any tanks, but that's okay. Perfectly fitting duplicate boss, I think that's fine. Another thing, I think the, I forget what these guys are called, but the ones that ride on the floors. This is one of the only levels where they make sense to me. I think it's a good enemy choice for this level because you have the added speed, and they also have speed. So it makes it more of a maneuverability thing. Okay. These should be different more in just their color. Because I don't know if there's a certain color blindness for this, but say you had the black and white, like the black and white color blindness, you could not tell the difference between these in any way. Anyway, these are jump pads, and I think this introduction's fine. I think this stage is pretty good introductions. I think that's a high point. That's just up the other path. I guess I'll check that after. To me, these enemies seem kind of useless. They don't seem to actually impede Mega Man in any way. And I think that can be kind of an issue with this level. I think it's kind of easy. Oh, these are the jump and speed ones. I don't actually remember how these are any different. Yeah, because we have these ones. That is not an obvious color change even to me, and I don't have color blindness or anything. I think should totally be changed. Also, I think the jump boost pads need to be introduced a little longer before you bring these in. Oh, never mind. I'm just... What? Am I just bouncy? What in the world? Wait, that was weird. Okay, something there makes you bouncy in that room. Just permanently, which I don't think is great. Anyway, yeah, disabling, what's it called? Magnet beam in this is fine. I think I get a lot of flat stretches of land because you need the running pads. Okay, see, this is the token I want. It's a kind of risk-reward thing where you can get that if you're better than me at the game. You can grab that token there, or you'll go into the spikes. Okay, again, I think this is a programming error. Anytime these blue ones are on stage, I just bounce anywhere. That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, that's points off for functionality. Okay. It's kind of a sketchy jump. Okay. Never mind, it's fine. Okay, and then introducing these again is kind of strange, in my opinion. Like, you shouldn't have introduced them in that token before if you're just gonna do another similar reintroduction. Unless the other one also has the lasers, I'll have to check. See, I like whenever the lasers show up again, though, because see how this is encouraging me to go fast? It really amplifies this being a boost man, where you have to use the speed to your advantage more than just helping you jumps, but actually getting around faster. Okay. Funnily enough, this is the second one of these guys that shows up in a row. I think they're called like power jumpers. I did not just do that. I'm so sorry. Okay. They're like power thrusters or power jumpers or something. No, like muscle jumpers. It's crazy how much worse I get at Mega Man whenever I'm on screen. Can I shadow slide this guy? I should be able to. Oh, Beast dead. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, Boost Man. I don't know the W's. Interesting. Alright, I don't remember this boss at all, so let's see how this goes. Is this all he does? Okay, so he just runs back and forth. Okay, and then he jumps. And then he kills me. Do 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 do. Okay, the animation at the start is nice, but like this boss is the maybe least exciting thing. I think the implementation of something like the boost pads or something would be wise, just for the sake of this being the corner end of the level. After not much of a difficult part at the end. Yeah, that's it. Alright, I guess the next thing to do would be for me to check out the other side of the level. At the split. Oh, Pharaoh Man. Hello. I gotta finish the Pharaoh challenge actually, that's another thing that I need to do. But that's at a later time. Don't particularly understand how you're supposed to get that, aside from just using word chat. Another thing that I think this level struggles with a little bit is the difficulty progression. I don't think this stage necessarily gets much harder. There's definitely some, and I think there's a good variety of challenges. I don't know if there's a good complexity increase though. There's the different boosters and stuff, but they're used pretty safely. This introduces you to, okay, these are like double bounce ones. Alright, these ones don't break me the same way. Cool. I think the approach to introducing you to a game mechanic that shows up later on as like a side path is kind of interesting, but I think it's also kind of strange. Okay, these gray blocks in the background, these background like gray tiles, are kind of hard to read. They look like solids. I would say what this level has going for it, these are very satisfying setups. Like, I never feel like this level has something that's really annoying or frustrating to deal with. There's always constant movement, which is great for a boost. Like, it's perfect for what this level's going for. Nice little power-up challenge, I like that. This, I don't really understand. Again, you just like use one of Rush's abilities for this. It's not really anything. Oh, that was sneaky. Yeah, oh, okay, there's a different boss on this one. Okay. This one uses the abilities of the gimmicks of the level a little better. I like the falling rocks, I think that's fitting. This part feels a lot stronger than the laser part, because the laser part kind of is just a rehash of the part you have to do later on. Let's get a tornado blow. Oh, never mind, that doesn't kill it. I thought it would. Yeah, you basically like do half of this level as the top half and then half as the side path, and I think that kind of hurts a lot when you could just have one level with already strong usage of its gimmicks, but instead you split it into two less strong sections. Hello, Eddie. Eating. Okay, I don't really need to replay through the entire level. So, let's see. I'm going to switch screens now to my sheet, which I hope is showing. Oh, yes, okay. Here, so no one's ever seen this, I think, on stream before. This is where I list all of my levels by placement, their name, and then every single section I gave them. Design, fun, creativity, aesthetics, functionality, their overall score versus the judge average, and then the tier that they're in. This is fun because you can kind of sort these by whatever you like, and it also kind of reveals where my favorite levels are. Like, Sulfuric Abyss is my gold one. I love this level for no reason other than it just meshes really well with me. Explosives Factory is very good use of vanilla gimmicks, and Gravity Wumbo and Alpine Weather Institute I just think are cool. But you can see they all did really well, and then you can kind of check out everything else from worst to best. Anyway, let me fix this. Yeah, we are on stage 28, which is Boostman. And that is tier 13, and let's see what the judge average gave it. A 72. Alright, cool. Now to actually get into my rating. Alright, design. X out of 35. So we have our introductions. I think this has pretty strong introductions, at least at the start. I think the original bounce pads are introduced. And in a vacuum, the jump pads, the lasers, everything's well introduced. I don't think that introductions are benefited by showing up kind of twice. Like the lasers, they show up twice if you take the bottom path. The jump pads show up twice if you take the top path. I think it's kind of messy. So I'm going to give it a 4. I think we'll address the split path a little later. Challenge design. Deliberate, meaningful, fair, reasonably perfectible. Yeah, I think this is a pretty fair level. I think everything here kind of performs how you would expect it to, and I think everything here is pretty well introduced and designed. I think, okay, for challenge design, actually, what I'll say, I really appreciate how this level has a constant momentum going for it, where it's like you jump and you kill a guy, then you keep going. You don't ever have to wait for shielded enemies, which is great for the level like this. And the enemies also focus on getting you to move around. Like the drills make you jump around, and the mosquitoes also kind of force you to dodge out of the way. It's perfect for that kind of thing. Challenge design I think is very fair. I'll give it a 4. I think some things. I think the tokens are kind of miss their deliberate side because they don't really accentuate the level's gimmicks or provide extra challenges. They just are basically just use Rush Jet or the Spring or anything. Anyway, challenge progression, I'm gonna give that a 2. I think this level has poor challenge progression, mainly because, first of all, it has the weird split paths, but also it just doesn't really get much more difficult as it goes on. There's a lot of cool stuff, but it doesn't really climax anywhere, and I don't think Boostman is hard enough to justify being the end to the level. I think this level would actually probably benefit by not having a Boostman and just having like a final section where what this would be good actually? What would be good for this? In a vertical scroll section with bouncers and speed boosts and everything. I think that would be a way better end to a level like this because Boostman is kind of falls flat. He doesn't do anything. Anyway, focus, coherent vision, manageable roster, nothing over / underused. Yeah, I think that's. I think you know what? I think the sorry if I'm pausing a lot. I just need to gather my thoughts before I say gibberish. I think this is pretty. The bouncers, the speed boosts, they're all well used. I think the level has a kind of big enemy roster, but I don't think anything ever felt like it showed up one time and then never again. I think the bosses, since it's a split path, it actually gets helped by that. However, the focus is hurt by having this split path. I think that kind of detracts. I think the lasers could have used a little bit more focus at the end because they show up and then they show up again at the end and then that's it. I think if it was one big section with the lasers at the end, I think that would be a much better climax to the level. And I think that would provide better focus. I'm gonna say that's a 3. Layout, logical, efficient, architecture, obvious pits, safe transitions, sense of direction. That would be a 5 if it weren't for the split paths, which is really disappointing actually, because I think the layout, as I said, it emphasizes the puzzles, because you're just you jump. What am I saying? Oh my god. The layout is good because it emphasizes the gimmicks. It makes you kind of take a obvious path when a level like this with so many mobility enhancers could kind of end up being like you go any direction, but I think this does a good job at having variety while also making you stick to the challenges in general. So I'm gonna say that's still a 3. Player consideration: length, checkpoints, items, disability awarenesses, niceties. Length is fine. Checkpoints are good. I like the dispersion of items, and I think the Eddie is placed well. Disability awareness, I dislike. I think that this level should include a little bit more variance in how the boost pads look, because right now with certain types of color blindness I think it would be hard to tell, almost impossible, which hurts the readability of your level. And then niceties, nothing specific. I'm gonna give this a 3 because I think the split path with the different tokens was also kind of a bad move. Weapon consideration, yeah, I think it was a good move to remove Magnet Beam, and I think that everything else is fine. I think there's good situations where you use Rush Jet and the Spring, and there's never anywhere where I feel like that anything could be abused, especially considering this level has a lot less long sections and a lot more just single screens. Anyway, name 2. So adding that together, that's going to be 4, 4, 2, 3. Okay, wait. 4 plus 4 is 8. Then that's 10, 13, 16, 19, 22, 24. Okay, 24. And then fun. You know what? I wasn't a big fan of this level the last time I did it. I think I was just having a bad day or something. I think this is a pretty fun level. I think it's satisfying to use the boost pads, and I think that the top boss, the mini boss, is interesting. So yeah, I'd give this like a 8. I'd give this a 7. I think it's a 7 fun. Highs do the best parts boost the level. I think where this really shines is just in the meat and bones of the design, and I think this level does pretty good at that. I think it has a... Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it's a 4 for that. And then the lows? Are the shortcomings forgivable? I don't like whenever you have a split path and you can't tell where tokens are. I'm giving that a 2. I dislike that a lot. But contest appropriateness, I don't think that there's any situation where this would be a skippable level. I think it's perfectly fair. I think despite the split path, I don't think it's outside anyone's reach, or it's not an affront to anyone's time, because it's not a very long level. So I'm gonna give it 5 for that. So it's 7, 4, 2. So that's 11, 13, 16. No, 9. Ugh. I am losing it. 18. 18 fun. Creativity. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start with potential. I think the potential of this level could have been expanded a little bit more by using scrolling sections. But in general, I think this level kind of explores where it needs to go with its gimmicks. But I think the lasers could have been used better, so I'm gonna go with 3. Novelty, I think this is pretty novel. There's a lot of mobility-based levels, but this is the only one where it turns it into like a gimmick rather than just changing Mega Man's moveset. I appreciate that. It feels more vanilla, and it feels like it could actually be in a Mega Man game. I think it was pretty novel. Go 4. Impressiveness. I'm not very impressed by your boss. I'm gonna be completely honest. I think that was a big blunder, and I'm not impressed by some of the blander parts of the level. However, I think you have a strong spine to your level that makes it pretty fun, and I think it impressed me enough. So I'm gonna give it a 3, and that's a 10. Okay, aesthetics. Audio. Let's go. Let me go into the level. Or oh dear. Here. So what a blunder. I will do it after this. It seems kind of like my goal right now. Anyway. I hope it's showing. I don't think it is. I don't. I don't think it's streaming much of anything. There we go. Okay, okay. I'm back. I think. I have no idea. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Alright, cool. I've finally figured out. Unless it's not gonna let me switch. Just get me off of this, please. Oh god. Something is terribly wrong with my computer. It works for a little bit and then it just stops. I'm updating after this. Anyway. Oh, cool. I think we're back. Audio. Well, what I was trying to do last time was check how the audio was doing in the level, but that requires me to be back on the game actually. So, I like this song a lot. I think it's a 5. Visuals, I think they're. I like the volcano theming, but I don't think it's the strongest thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna give it a 3. I think that the boosters could look a little better, and I think that Boostman himself's kind of amateurish, but this is an amateur competition, so I can't take away too much for that. Atmosphere. There's a couple fire enemies. There's... I don't know. Boostman doesn't really do much of anything. The boss himself doesn't do much. to help the theming, and I'm kind of sad to say that the level doesn't really either. It's just a volcano. I'm gonna give it a 2. So that's like a 10. 10 out of 15. Sure. Functionality, okay. Polished programming, 3. The boost things mainly worked. I wish that they would slide. I wish the sliding worked with the speed ones, because that was a mechanic I was really excited to see. But it never actually works, so it feels a little unpolished. And then also, in some situations, the ultra pads that give you the jump boost and the speed just will give you constant jump boost, which I think is a little broken. And then feasibility, I'm gonna give it a 5, so that's a 8 in functionality. So adding this all together, it's a 24. Here, 10 plus 10, 28. Then 18 plus 28, sorry, I'm gonna do a little math, is equals 46. And then plus 46 is gonna be a whole 60? 60 something. Sorry again. Sorry, the stream just keeps seeming like it's breaking, so I gotta keep checking it. However, I think it's fine now, so I'm electing right now to not use my math to control this, because I think that's just a bad idea. Now that I think about it. So 24 plus 18 plus 10, 10, 8. That's gonna be a 70, which is actually not terrible. I was kind of expecting a little lower, but 70 will fit. 8, 10, 10, 24, 18. Perfect. Alright. Now, if this hadn't broken earlier, I would have done another level, but I don't believe that my thing's gonna work for very much longer. So, I'm instead going to just read the judge things in a little bit. Anyway, let's see how this will pair up in my thing, if I sort it from worst to best. Okay, so it seems like Boost Man is going around middle of the line, along with stuff like Guitar Man, Ice Cave in Russia, Interstitial Compression. It's a decent level, but not my favorite. I think it does a good job at what it does, but it's not it didn't really blow me out of the park with anything. It's a lot of fun though. Very satisfying level. Yeah. Anyway, let me switch this back to Mega Man. Hello, Mr. Mega. Mega himself. We are going to read some judge reviews and see how much more succinctly they can put it than me. Oh, also, next stage is something I'm gonna have to wait on because this one's hard. And this one I have a lot to say about. It's Spectrum Signs by Spin Attacks. This one's an interesting one. We'll get there later. Anyway, so Boost Man, we got Mick thought it was pretty good. Shinryu and Flash kind of thought it was okay. Ace Spark thought it was pretty good. Patchy thought it was pretty good. Or is it Packy? I don't know actually. Anyway, here we go. Mick. Mick. Okay, that boost pad gimmick is some of the most fun I've had in this judging period. The base concept is simple and elegant, but the way it's used to defy pixel-perfect jumps and sail over enemies, I just love it. The level puts its core to great use, and the twist into bounce pads is a small, organic shift that adds a wonderful new dimension to the level. Best exemplified by the 2 spike corridors that start as an all-speed and then become bounce, barely changing anything else between the two. Then it all culminates in a big showdown with a bunch of lasers, marrying 2 speed-based gimmicks for an adrenaline-pumping climax. If I have one issue to raise, it's that taking the bottom path leaves the bounce pads feeling somewhat underused, in exchange for even more lasers. I agree, when the final bit with the lasers is probably enough. The enemy set may not dazzle, but it is no less solid. Fireboy and Fire Totem are exceptionally fun to dodge on the pads, and the tallest boys always give me a chuckle. Garyobi meshes well with the gimmick, and Helipon breathes some life into other unremarkable rooms. There are a few duds, namely Turbo Rotor and Jump Roller. Both of them feel underexposed, especially since there's lava for Jump Roller to play with. Yeah, that only shows up really once. Moliere is also a little off in execution. It isn't underused, but the Moliere sandwich is where this enemy peaks. Almost every encounter afterward isn't as interesting. That being said, the level's main flaw is aesthetic design. I don't mind a lava cave level. A fire stage fits speed themed rather well, but red lava does not work with reddish-orange rocks. It's a good thing it's animated, because if it wasn't, the poor contrast would make it hard to tell what's safe and what's death. More importantly, there is at least one type of color blindness that blinds the difference between boosts and bounces, which makes this level harder to play. Color coding anything is a risky business in game design. If you don't have extra telegraphs, it's a dice roll whether or not they'll understand it. Beyond that, splitting the tokens between paths forces a retry or needless replay to get 100%, which some might find annoying. Of course, if those are the worst mistakes the level makes, it's not really that bad off. Even professionals can struggle with accessibility details like that color issue. Outside of that, the only other off points are that the boosts behave weirdly combined with ladders, and that Boostman himself feels really unfinished compared to this level. Otherwise, this was quite fun, and I hope to see more of you from the future. Shinryu. There's definitely a very fun premise in this stage, and I think it was executed to good effect, though not without a few flaws here and there. The main highlights here are the speed and jump boosters. I'm all for gimmicks that seem simple but have a lot of utility to them, and these fit right at home with that. There's a lot of fun room and enemy synergies to be had with them, and I especially like the sections that force them to be used with force beams. That said, I do wish they were combined with more gimmicks beyond that, since they seem like they could work off of other hazards relatively well. What's there is fun, though I did notice the speed booster effect acts a little wonky if you jump onto a ladder with it. Well, with the speed carrying over after detaching, but this is an extremely minor thing that you can't even really abuse. I think the only part of the stage design that I actively find questionable is the split path. Both the paths have well-designed rooms layouts, but the main thing I take issue with is the presence of a token in each path. This means you'd have to take an intentional death or retry if you want to get everything here in one run. I understand this is probably meant to introduce a bit of replay value, but I've just never really been a fan of this sort of approach. Lastly, there's Boostman himself, and while I'm glad he at least shows up, his fight ends up feeling very underwhelming. He only seems to have 2 attacks, a Skullman-esque tracking shot, and an occasional jump shot, with the only mildly threatening thing about him being his high contact damage. He definitely had the potential to be a fun fight if he had more involved attacks that fit the theme of the stage, or if his boss room even had speed/jump boosters that both he and the player could use. I feel like that was a big missed opportunity here. That aside, I think he could also stand to be a little bit less buggy. I've seen him jump out of the boss room a few times, not to mention his energy elements flat out didn't spawn one time after I beat him. Overall though, while the boss is a bit of a letdown and I'm not a fan of the tokens on the split paths, this is a relatively fun stage with a decent execution behind it. If those aforementioned aspects were really polished up, I could see this easily being a top tier Robot Master stage. Water time. Patchy, 80. Up and away! Now, this is a pretty fun one. I'm all for movement enhancing gimmicks, and this stage certainly creates some good challenges out of them. The boost pad gimmicks are pretty neat. They somewhat remind me of the gel types in Portal 2. The stage makes use of the pads fairly well, placing them in varied platforming situations, providing some nice utilities when combined with enemies. 2 of the tokens almost look possible to grab without using Rush with the way the pads are set up. Either it's very strict with how you jump, or I didn't have enough patience to try them, because you're almost guaranteed to fall to the next screen if you fail the jumps, with no way to quickly return back up. Boss is his design is fairly generic, and so is how he fights. He chooses one of 4 moves randomly, fires 1 shot at you, fires 3 shots at you, jumps towards you, and fires a shot, or a very fast boss running towards you at incredibly speed. Nice spelling mistake. Rinse and repeat. None of them have very clear tells, and certain combos can result in unavoidable damage, making it a not very fun nor fair fight. On my initial playthrough, he somehow managed to clip himself out of the arena and got killed off screen, trapping the energy element outside. Upon investigation, it seems like that when Boostman turns around, his asymmetric hitbox can get stuck inside of the wall, and the game pushes him to the other side of the wall. Flashman85, 63. This level is fine. Length and checkpoints are fine. Difficulty and challenge progression are fine. The music has a few funky instrument choices, but it's fine. Lava pool backgrounds make the floor look higher than it is. Laser lines are helpful but obtrusive. And the tile work and the architecture are a bit blocky, but the animations are nice and the level overall looks fine. The boss fight and boost pads have a few programming kinks, but they're fine. Fine. I don't want fine. I want thrilling, surprising, inspired. This level has a lot of cool ideas and good design elements, but I find myself fixated on the parts that could be done better. The purposeful learning curve is disrupted by a path split that leaves the player only half prepared to deal with the final stretch. Some screen transitions allow unnecessary backtracking or drop the player into a Moliere encounter with almost no time to react. Those tokens are sitting out in the open, yet there are very clever secret rooms to hide them in, and a trick with jump boost plus tornado blow that could have been used. I don't understand how boosting pertains to the earth plus fire theme. Some sort of narrative explanation or aesthetic connection would go a long way. Boost pads need more than color to tell them apart, and it's a letdown that they're silent. Activation sound effects would enhance the atmosphere. Boostman needs boost pads in his chamber, or perhaps some attacks or animations that look and feel properly boosty, distinguishing him from any other boss who runs, jumps, and shoots. What I like most is how simple yet versatile the boost pads are. The mini bosses are also a particular highlight. I also like that the architecture is attentive to where lava rivers and ceiling holes come from. That's the kind of stuff I want to see more of. Ace Spark, 76 out of 100. Fun little stage. And the 2 paths are a rare example where both paths felt equally well baked and justified in their existence, and I always appreciate the restraint of not forcing another exit on the player. Nope, they can just pop into the alternative route, get the token, beat the mid-boss, and exit. Good. One path has reasonable force beams, the other gets more mileage out of the green jump pads. I didn't particularly feel the latter portion of the stage introduced its assets out of nowhere, and both previous paths felt natural. The boost and jump pads are a novel idea. It's so simple, you wonder why Capcom hasn't made use of them yet, and despite being so simple, it's well taught too. Mostly, but the one thing that sells them is keeping the player's momentum. I haven't seen this much at all in Classic. Reusing the former Fortress boss, Power Piston, as a mid-boss has enough changes, namely the lack of hit invulnerability, that makes him feel like he fits, and the jump pads make me feel like it's not a filler refight. I don't think that I can quite say the same for Stonehead. The boost pads don't really alter the fight in any real way other than maybe reduce the difficulty. Oh well. Yeah, I agree. Stonehead's hard to do anything with because you need the entire thing to be open. And I don't know programming wise if you would work on a raised surface or anything. So you kind of just have to leave it flat. Not many ways to do it, interestingly. I have to question the checkpoint placement after the mid-bosses. It's rather far from them, and the rooms leading to it are pretty dangerous, and the player's probably at low health at this point, so tad punishing. Graphically, the stage makes good use of its dev kit assets to assemble a new level. Caverns are a little trite at this point, just a bit more personality would have helped, but I appreciate the little animation it was given. And it wasn't just another quick man looking level rehash. The level song is catchy, though I'll give it that, it suits it. I do feel Boostman could have done with more work. Nothing other than his walk speed suggests he's, well, Boostman. His projectiles are generic and he's lacking any real personality. He's not a bad boss by any stretch, but he's rather underwhelming. Overall, I like this stage a fair bit. Feels like a solid Mega Man 4 era level feel, and good job. Oh my god, I cannot read or talk today, but that's okay. Anyway, now I already pretty much expressed everything I had to say about this level. I think it's a great idea that could have just used a lot more polish, but there's nothing in this level that is frustrating to me, and I think that's the best sign. I think Silver Laguna and Isabella Zabi, you guys did great jobs, and I would like to see more of you in the next competition. Anyway, I'm not gonna finish another level because I almost broke my computer trying to do this one, but maybe for a little bit. Let's see if I can get some Pharaoh's Challenge. Never mind. Uh-oh.